ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real. My channel is about dating, love, relationships, and toxic relationship advice channel. So we're going to get back into this Slimeball Matthew Terry again. I was sitting here just coming across and trying to, look a little bit more about this trial. This man has a history. K. Baker, why? K. Baker, why? Why? Okay, so we're going to get into this sleazeball again. This sleazeball Matthew Terry is a monster, and he has a history with women of the things that he do. So I'm going to show a clip of him in trial. This was day 2. The ending, because he's already been found guilty. So day 2 of the pleading, I think it was. Something like that. Excuse me, I could be saying it wrong. The penalty hearing, day 2 of it, right? So we're going to get into this one. Let's get into this monster. So what we're going to watch is her stepmother. And, make sure you read the description. And also, please hit the like button, share the video, and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Let me know what you think. So the stepmother's name, Christine Empey. I'll put in the comment section. Description. And the college ex-girlfriend who's going to come on the stand, her name is Jessica Cook. And what Jessica Cook is saying, this is insane. This man has a history. I like to my channel's about dating, love, relationships, and toxic relationship advice channel. So I use these crime stories or I use trial stories as a teaching tool to help people to date smart and not thirsty. Because when you do, you will be a target of being used and abused. And you have a lot of these slime balls, these dusty, low-life, trifling people out here that will seriously hurt you or kill you. That can happen. So you have to make wiser choices in dating. I don't understand, Cambridge. No insult to the victim. But why would you deal with this man? This other woman here who had testified, she warned you before, and you went to the court, K. Baker, and you testified on his behalf in court. After hearing the testimony that what he did to was horrific. Another thing that us women do, and we have to stop doing this, we feel that we can change the man. Oh, if we be more supportive, we there, he's a changed man. When you're dealing with people, monsters like this big neck monster right here, see his huge neck? They don't change. This is embedded in him. And as I'm hearing the history of it, he was never going to change. And thank God that God stepped in and stopped him so he will never be able to walk the streets again to hurt another woman. This is who he is. And it's really sad. And we have to be careful with the choices that we make. Don't mess around. And this goes for men too. Because men, you can mess around here with these violent women because men get abused too. And I've done videos on that. If you like, you can go through my playlist or look at my past videos or whatever, or email me and I'll direct you to the videos. And also you can email me if you have any video requests or if you need a coaching, because I'm also coaching and I, coach about dating, love, relationships, and I actually coach more men than I do females. And I've heard some of these men's horrific stories about they're good men, they're gentlemen. They treat their women well, but they come across these monster women that uses and abuse them. So you have to be careful the choices when watch out for the red flags. And especially if a person who has a history. If that's not a big red flag, I don't know what it is. So we're going to get into this trial, this penalty hearing that I was saying, penalty hearing. So I'm going to show this one because I thought it was quite interesting because we get to see the her stepmother, and her stepmother is going to speak. And then we get to hear about the ex-girlfriend that was in college. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh. This is insane. This really is insane. All right. So like I said, we're going to get into this one here. This was the penalty phase hearing day 2. And we're going to focus on the stepmother that she had. I think it's about 35 years or something like that. And then also we're going to get into the college ex-girlfriend, Christine Cooks. And she's going to tell what her experience with this monster. He is. He's just a straight up monster. There's no other way to describe it. Okay? And make sure you hit the like button, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Tell me, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you been following this case or whatever? Just let me know. And as I be going along, I might pause now and then to share my thoughts and opinions. But people who's watching replay, feel free to look at the description and catch your timestamps to help you to navigate. This is crazy. All right, so let's get into this one. All right, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Terry is present, as are all attorneys. You may be seated.
And look at his expression. He's just so cool about it.
The jury has a verdict on the penalty phase. And we're going to get to that in a moment. But before we get too far from what happened before we broke, I want to readdress that. I'm concerned in that Mr. Terry has made an allegation that his attorneys lied to him. That's exactly what he has alleged. And obviously there is a appropriate 3850 that can be filed and addressed, but the accusation is fresh. And I don't think that I should pass on the opportunity to make a perfect record as we're here. So I don't believe that I can order him. I gave him an opportunity to make any additional record that he wishes to, and I will continue to extend that opportunity to him if he wants to change his mind and put anything on the record. But I think that the most important thing is that I ask you, Miss Perry, whether or not you promised him anything. And if that requires me to find a waiver of attorney-client privilege.
Now, this is just starting off because something, I guess, I'm not quite sure on this, so I can't really explain it too well. But I guess something that this slime ball was promised and he didn't get or whatever from his lawyer or something like that. But eventually it's going to go on to the hearing the stepmother, and then we're going to hear the ex-college girlfriend. Resume.
I find that because he's alleged that you lied to him in order to get him not to testify in the guilt phase. And so I'm asking you, and I'm finding that it constitutes a waiver. In fact, I'm ordering you to tell me whether you promised Mr. Perry anything in exchange to get him not to testify in the defense case in the guilt phase of this case.
Since I've been ordered, I am permitted to answer. And no, of course I did not.
Okay, all right.
Judge, I apologize, but unfortunately, I don't know that Mr. Terry said that it was Miss Perry that promised him. I'm just trying to play it out logically.
That's true. All right. All right.
So you could just ask Mr. Terry who it is that made the promise to him.
I would ask that you instead perhaps just inquire of my colleagues if they made any promises. I don't.
Wow. Mr. Kane, did you make any promises to Mr. Terry regarding anything in order to, regarding his decision whether to testify in his case in chief during the guilt phase?
Yes.
You made promises to him?
Yes.
What were those promises?
I promised him that Ms. Perry's closing argument, any theories or any interpretations of the evidence would be based on the admissible evidence, and that she would argue according to the evidence that had been admitted in the case. That she could make no other arguments except what was supported by that evidence.
Okay.
That is the promise that I made.
All right. Any requests from the state at this point?
Judge, I'm deeply troubled by that answer. When a defense attorney stands up and says, yes, I made promises to a client who is now saying I was made promises and I waived my rights in furtherance of the promise, where Mr. Terry is now, I believe, if I understand things correctly, Mr. Terry is basically saying there was some agreement as to what exactly the story would be that would be told to the jury in closing, and that is not the story that was told. I don't know that this has clarified this any better.
Judge, I'm answering the court's question. All right, there was more to the discussion on whether or not a client is going to testify than just what has been said here. And I don't know if now is the appropriate time to address that when we have the jury waiting to announce their verdict. So I would ask that any concerns that the court has on this issue be undertaken or addressed after we have received this decision by the jury.
Mr. Diaz, any requests from the state regarding clarification? I mean, this is...
Your Honor, I mean, you have decided that this constitutes a waiver of attorney-client privilege. It is an odd situation for me to suggest what the court should ask, because I don't know that I'm the appropriate person to ask the question.
No, I'm asking if you have any suggestions.
Well, I mean, Judge, if attorney-client privilege is waived, I don't understand why you cannot ask the defendant what it is that he believes he was promised, and then you can ask the attorneys individually, did any of you promise that?
Any people that's watching this, if you have to understand what's happening, feel free to put in the comment section, give me some clarity, or I kind of get it, but I'm not quite sure. But if you can give me some clarity, or anybody else who's, watching the video, reading the description, the comment section, give them clarity too. This is interesting. I just hope that this is not going to be something that's going to overturn or whatever, and he gets an appeal. I hope not, because this man is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. He does not need to be walking the streets at all. At all. He has a history. Okay, let's get back to it.
Or anything even remotely in that realm. I mean, this is pretty explosive stuff that is.
I understand. I agree. I mean, it's somewhat even uncharted territory. But I appreciate your suggestion. Mr. Terry, I'm going to ask you what you were promised.
Sir, there were no theories discussed between my attorneys and myself in respect to any other sequence of events except what I described to them. Therefore, when it was told that everything would be covered in closing, I was under the presumption that what I had communicated to them would be communicated to the court instead of me testifying. So essentially, I looked at it as a way of them portraying what I had spoken to them in respect to the incidents that occurred that night for me in the closing arguments. And I thought the closing arguments were phenomenal up until the description of the incident, which was not accurate at all. Even though, as Mr. Kane described, it may have fit the context of the evidence, it was nothing close to what I had described to any of my attorneys.
All right. Mr. Kane, did you promise that?
No, I never promised Mr. Terry ever that what he had detailed for us previously would be theorized or argued by Ms. Perry. Never under any circumstances.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my caveat to him was the promise we can make is that Ms. Perry's argument will be supported by the evidence and the evidence alone, and her interpretation and reasonable interpretation based on what can be inferred from the admissible evidence.
But
That is the promise that I
you
made.
did not specifically promise him that her closing argument would contain anything that he expressed to you regarding a theory of the case.
Under no circumstances did I promise that.
Okay,
And
thank
I
you.
do
I
not
appreciate
believe that Mr. Terry is saying that I made such a promise.
Well, hold on. Ms. Perry, did you make any such promise to Mr. Terry?
No.
Ms. Spradley, did you make any such promise to Mr. Terry?
No.
Judge, I want to be respectful of the fact that we have a jury waiting, I really do, but
I opened this door, but I was concerned about an allegation of a defendant in a death penalty case that not only implied, but appeared to specifically allege that his attorneys had lied to him.
I agree, Your Honor. I mean, that's what I was concerned about at the beginning. He was basically saying I was promised something and then they didn't give me what they promised.
Well, but the attorneys have now said that they did not promise that they would provide a version of anything that he relayed to him. They've all said that on the record. Is there anything additional you want me to ask them?
I mean, I thought that when Your Honor came out, and maybe I misinterpreted what you said, and if I did, forgive me, but I thought you were starting this with, you were going to ask the defendant specifically what it is that he thought was going to be said that was not said.
I said I can't order him to do anything. I would give him the opportunity if he wished to put anything on the record. I did, after, end up asking him specifically in response to your suggestion that I asked him what he was promised. So that did change. And I asked him, and he told me. I will continue to give him the opportunity if he wants to put on the record what his version is. But his attorneys have specifically indicated, each and every one of them individually, that they did not promise him that they would provide a representation of what his version was in order to get him to waive, to not testify. That's what they've said.
Well, I would ask Your Honor, or at least I would ask Your Honor to tell Mr. Terry that he has this opportunity to say on the record whatever it is, whatever fact, specific fact that he thinks should have been said or was going to be said. That
I said that I would, and I will.
And I'd also ask that you would clarify with him, I guess, why when the closing was done and Ms. Perry sat down, there was no issue raised in that moment.
Judge, the prosecutor may want to question Mr. Terry, but he doesn't have the right to. Those are not appropriate questions. This is not.
Well, I've already put on the record that he waited, that he didn't say anything about it until now. But I will give him the opportunity. Mr. Terry, if there's anything that you would like to put on the record now, we're making a record for a number of post-trial issues that may be associated with your conviction in this case. So I'm giving you the opportunity now, if you want to say what it is that you believe that they were going to include in their closing argument and did not, and that they promised you in exchange for you testifying, I'm giving you an opportunity to tell us now.
I felt that I was promised that a depiction of the accurate sequence of events as I had witnessed them were going to be portrayed in closing. Possibly not exactly or every single detail, but at least an accurate depiction of what happened that night as I had explained it to him. That was my perception and that was my belief. I have been in discussion with my attorneys about this incident since the end of.
Okay, I'm getting a little better picture of this sleazeball. Let me tell you something, you sleazeball monster. Matthew Terry. Nothing's going to change. You're going to jail for life. You shouldn't have been in jail a long time ago. There's something seriously wrong with you. there's something seriously wrong with you. You don't have no respect or nothing for women. And it seems like all your life you was a lucky guy. You always got yourself some beautiful, nice women. Beautiful, nice women. You was lucky. So many guys would kill to have some of these women that you get. Intelligent, beautiful, caring, and loving towards their man, and you was a lucky one to get them. And what did you do? Use and abuse them and killed this last one. I will resume. Ladies, you have to watch out for these type of men. You have to. And stop bringing these type of dudes into your home with your children. And I'm so glad that, Kay Baker, where is she? Where are you, beautiful? That Kay Baker right here, that her children is okay. Because these monsters they would end your kids' lives too. All right, let's get back to it.
Closing. And today I decided I wanted to raise the issue against their advice. I wanted to raise the issue and at least have the record reflected that I didn't even realize I was promised anything until after closing. And then I realized that that is not what I expected.
Okay, there's a big difference between expectations, promises, and the questioning that I gave to you prior to when you told me you had made a decision not to testify. If you didn't realize that you were promised anything before you made that decision, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. That's
Thank you,
enough.
Honor.
Let's get the jury. We are.
All rise, you're in a courtroom.
Just look at the smug on his face. No shame, no embarrassment, no remorse.
The jury is present and seated. Everyone else may be seated at this time. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, welcome back. The bailiffs have indicated to me that you have reached a verdict in the penalty phase of this case. I'm going to turn now to Mr. Williams as the foreperson of the jury. Is that in fact correct, Mr. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have the verdict form for the penalty phase?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you please present that to the bailiff? Thank you, sir. I will review the verdict. I will then present it to the clerk to be published. Mr. Terry, if you will please stand, Mr. Counsel, for the publishing of the verdict.
State of Florida versus Matthew Robinson Terry.
case number 22 CF 006969. We, the jury, find as follows as to Matthew Terry in this case. A, aggravating factors as to count 1. 1, we, the jury, unanimously find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the aggravating factor that Matthew Terry was previously convicted of a felony involving the use or threat of violence to another person. Check. Only yes or no. Yes was checked. Number 2, we, the jury, unanimously find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the aggravating factor that the first-degree murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. Check. Only yes or no, and that answer was no. If you answered no to every aggravating factor listed, do not proceed to section B. B, sufficiency of the aggravating factors as to count 1. The answer is no. Dated this 17th day of November 2022 in Hillsborough County. 4-person, signed by the 4-person, WW.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You may be seated. Would either side like the jury polled before they are released by the court?
No, Judge.
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to address before the court releases this jury? State?
Nothing wrong, thank you.
Defense?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is my final opportunity to address you. And the first thing that I want to say is one of the first things that I said to you 3 weeks ago when we brought you in here. And that is thank you for your very important civic duty. I indicated to you during jury selection that jury service is one of the most important things that you can do for your country. And I am quoting Abraham Lincoln. You have completed that very important service, and we greatly appreciate you. I know that it wasn't easy. I know that it was long. You've been here now for 3 weeks. Not only do I thank you, but I appreciate you. And I thank you for your patience with us. All of my prior restrictions regarding doing any research about this case, about discussing this case with anyone, I am going to release you of at this time. That means...
Ooh, Matthew Terry, you are done in the prison house. These people in prison don't like men like you that abuse women and kill them. You're done. Your days is over. You got away with this crap for years. Years doing these things to women. For years. But now it's over. You will never be able to hurt another woman again. This is a dangerous man for years. And got away with it all this time. But I go back again. Ladies, you do not get with ex-cons. Men, you do not get with ex-cons. No, no, no. Just let them go. You cannot reform them. You cannot change them. You cannot help them. You find yourself somebody else, okay? There's always somebody else out here, all right? Resume.
that as you walk out that door in just a moment, you are free to either continue discussing this case amongst yourselves, but also to discuss it with others. It is entirely your decision and your decision alone whether you wish to do that. If you do not want to discuss it with anyone else, you do not have to. Additionally, there is a very special protection that applies to your deliberations, both during the guilt phase and in the penalty phase. That is that you cannot be forced to talk about your deliberations except by court order. Again, though, that is your decision. If you wish to do so, then you may discuss with others your deliberations. As far as everything in the case, anything that may be out there on media, social media, you are free to look at that if you wish. I cannot say it enough, so I am going to say it one last time as I dismiss you from the courtroom, and that is thank you sincerely. All rise for the jury. Jury has exited. Everyone may be seated. There are no options regarding sentencing. What is the state's request?
Your Honor, we'd ask to proceed to sentencing. The family is here from out of town.
All right. I don't see any reason not to.
Your Honor, can I just have a
Yes.
minute to confer with them?
Yes.
There's no legal reason, defense agrees.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
so that the sentencing order is complete, Mr. Terry has 170.
To the court, and I think that that the rest of this should be handled at the appropriate.
Did you know you can
The state can't ask you to do that with aggravation.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I had to adjust it. So now it's continuing back. It's resuming back from before all that fooey messed up and everything. So don't pay no attention.
Your Honor,
Let's get back
Yes.
to it.
so that the sentencing order is complete, Mr. Terry has 170.
We should be heading into the stepmother talking. Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit. Last time I tried to fast forward, that's what messed up. So let's try it again.
Here in court, I think only Christine Empey, case stepmother, would like to address the court at some point if you have a chance. And then otherwise we can proceed.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Anyone who wants to address the court may.
Now, this is the stepmother who's getting ready to address the court. This is Kay Baker's stepmother.
There, unless she wants to come down to the witness stand, wherever she's more comfortable.
And would you rather stand?
You want to go to the podium, or do you want to come sit in the chair?
I'll come sit in the chair.
All right, let me swear you in before you walk over there. If you'll face me and raise your right hand, please. Do you swear affirm any testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you may proceed to the chair. Did you want, I don't see any reason why you can't go with her. This is victim's assistance.
Yes. Can we just maybe set a chair up over here for her?
You want to just put that chair right over here? Is that sufficient? Is that all right with you, ma'am? And Mr. Diaz, I apologize. Please state her name again.
Yes, this is Christine Empey.
Empey.
E-M-P-E-Y.
Welcome, Ms. Empey.
Thank you.
I'm going to allow Mr. Diaz the opportunity to ask you questions.
Ms. Empey, just a little bit of background so his honor understands. You are the stepmother of Kay Baker,
Yes.
and how long have you been her stepmother?
35 years.
All right, so that's the majority of her life.
Yes.
Do you have something you'd like to say here in court?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
What words did Kay say that night to justify you killing her? How bad could those words be? Did she say Dad was right? Michelle was right? Was that what got her a death sentence? It is very unsettling as a parent to fear for your daughter because of the partner they've chosen. I feared for Kay's life. Her dad feared for Kay's life. And I don't understand why she did not. I hope you fear for your life.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me just see. Mr. Diaz, did you have any questions? No, thank you. Does the defense have any questions?
So Kay's banker knew he was a monster, and they probably warned her, but she wouldn't listen. This is so sad. This really is sad. This could have been all prevented.
Would anybody else like to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Jessica Cook. She'd like to address the court.
Ms. Cook, come on down. I'll give you the same choice, Ms. Cook, if you want to stand at that or if you'd like to come down. Let me swear you in here. Do you swear any testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You'll come all around to the chair. Watch your step. Go ahead and have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Yes, do you want to start off with a question?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Ma'am, could you please tell us how you know Matthew Terry?
I was his college girlfriend. We went to different colleges, but we dated almost 20 years ago.
Okay. And do you have something you'd like to say here to the court?
I do.
Okay, please go ahead.
Am I allowed to address Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. These proceedings are not to be having the witnesses address the defendant directly. The requirement is that they address the court. We didn't
I can do that as well.
first.
All right, go ahead and address.
do that as well.
Address me.
Okay. I have sat here this week and listened to everything that has happened, everything that has been said. I have watched the giggles and the laughs and the complete disrespect for a woman's life. That woman is not here today. She has passed away. And I feel like it's a slap in the face, especially when I heard that there were no priors, when you were given instruction that there were. I was not allowed to testify in any of this because I accepted misdemeanors rather than pushing for a trial and felonies. And because of that,
We end this for a second, Coach.
I'm gonna overrule whatever the objection is.
I'll allow it.
If I could just have access to the
Ladies and gentlemen, do you see this woman is still traumatized from what happened? She is still traumatized off of this monster. Just hear exactly what she's going to say. Hopefully she can get it all out. She's traumatized. Resume.
record, please.
I'm sorry?
If I could have access to the record, please.
You can have it from there.
Yes, the access to the record is that the purposes of these proceedings with providing victim impact. My understanding is that Ms. Cook is now taking the opportunity to denigrate the defense and to criticize the defense without proper foundation. And we would just object to any further statements about the defense if she would like to confine her victim impact, not fully knowing the relationship that she may or may not have had with Kay Baker. We can then address the appropriateness of her taking the stand and making these remarks.
Your objection is noted. You may proceed.
Ma'am, just a little bit, because I think the judge may not understand what you're talking about. Were you the victim in another case involving Mr. Terry?
yes, I was.
When was
Objection.
Overruled.
that?
Early 2000s.
And can you just give a brief summary of what happened in that case?
Yes. He broke into my house. I was assaulted. My girlfriend, which was not in a lesbian sense, my friend that was a woman, was also assaulted. And he chased us around the house. When the police came, he pretended to be the victim rather than the assailant. And a lot of the things I heard today regarding Kay's, or not today rather, but this week, were very similar to the things that I endured. And so I did not plan on saying anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear this? This man is a slimeball monster. Listen to this. This is insane. He should never been able to walk the streets. What bothers me is he gets these beautiful women. Look, beautiful. Another beautiful woman. These are ex-girlfriends. Well, we know Kay Baker, the one he ended her life. The kids don't have a mother no more. And she's a teacher, so you know the kids, the students, they've traumatized too off of this. Okay, let's not forget about the kids that she had as students, right? This one here. And then this one that's speaking, all of them beautiful women. He gets beautiful women. This slime ball. And this is how he treats them. Like I said, and I repeat, so many men wish they can have beautiful women like this. That's nurturing and caring, that stands by their man. And this monster, this is what he do, this monster. I mean, look at him. He's really not that cute. He looked like he loves drugs, looked like a cokehead, looked like an alcohol. He got sweaty skin. Really? How did you pull these women? How? Monster. Resume.
Today, I did not plan on being a part of this at all, but I feel that Kay deserves that support. She trusted this man wholeheartedly. She has for years. I have known of Kay since we dated. She was a good person. She was a beautiful soul, and she loved this man wholeheartedly and would have done anything for him.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
No.
Thank Thank you, ma'am. Pass the witness.
Any questions?
No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Mr. Diaz, anyone else?
No, Your Honor, that's it for witnesses that would like to present.
All right, let me see if there's any witnesses from the defense.
No witnesses.
All right. And does Mr. Terry wish to address the court?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, there's only one lawful sentence. I hate to say that you don't have discretion, but you don't have discretion, so I would just ask that you impose the lawfully required sentence.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing further.
All right. Yes, please stand. I guess in one respect, it is easy since Mr. Diaz is absolutely right and that I don't have any discretion. There is only one sentence. What I will say is that I listened to the testimony of Ms. Rogers both during the Williams Rule hearing and during the trial that we've been in here, and additional testimony regarding the charges, the trial, the sentence in Michigan. I don't know what happened in Michigan as far as the trial and the sentence, but based on what I heard, I believe that you should have been in prison in Michigan and that Miss Baker should still be alive. This is Florida. You're going to prison for the rest of your life. I adjudicate you guilty. I sentence you to life in prison. I impose all fines, fees, associated charges, and I advise you that you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence entered against you. Thank you. He has 174 days credit. State, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Ha ha, sleazeball, ha ha, sleazeball. You're done, no more of you abusing women. Throw him under the jail. You sleazeball, you piece of crap. Doing this to these women, these beautiful women. All they did was love and care and be supportive and nurturing to you, and this is how you treat them. You got to be kidding. You sitting there and did what you did to Kay Baker, assuming, look at this picture, just assuming that she would dance with God. The guy was just passing by. That's it. That's all he did. But your delusional mind went somewhere else. What a shame. Let's just watch him walk out the courthouse, handcuffed. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, I can't stand these type of dudes. I really can't. True slime ball. Let's just watch, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'll share my thoughts. You're feeling really lonely right now, all by yourself. You had yourself a good woman. You wouldn't have been alone. But nope, you chose this. Okay, I think this is the ending of it. This is basically the ending of it. So let me just share my thoughts, okay? Let's put a little music on here. Hopefully it's not too loud. All right, so we're gonna get into this sleazeball here. Well, He's all done. He'll never be able to walk the streets again. Thank God for that. I just can't believe what he did to all these women. Beautiful women. You know how many women would die? I mean, excuse me, how many men, like I said, would die and killed to have such beautiful women? Yep. Let's look at the monster. There he goes. He killed Kay Baker because he was delusional. He thought that she was dancing with another man. Hold up. Excuse me, sir. So what if she was dancing with another man? She could do what she wanted to do. Now, I can understand, don't get me wrong, men. I know y'all men can be a little bit territorial. You don't like to see a lady with another man. I understand. You get a little jealous. It is what it is. When you love the woman. But he took it to a whole nother level. All right? And if you love your woman, you're supposed to respect what she say. You just ask her and say, hey, will you dance with that man? What was going on? And if she tells you no and nothing happened, you're supposed to respect what she says and just move on and let it go and shake it off and go back to the party. I mean, well, not to the party. Well, back to the friends. They was all out for a night, having a couple of cocktails and, just having a good time. The weather was nice, just enjoying themselves. But no, he took it to another level. And then he killed this woman. Now, this woman's kids don't have a mother no more. And like I said, she's a school teacher. And that's the sad part. She's a school teacher. So you don't think those kids are not traumatized too? Like, where's Miss Baker? Where's Miss Baker? We miss her. I don't understand, Mommy and Daddy. What do you mean somebody hurt Miss Baker is a nice person. What is it that comes to the courts? What is it, a grief counselor or something like that? I think that comes not to the courts, excuse me, come to the school. So these kids is gonna suffer from it too. Her students, not just her biological kids, her students too. But he didn't care. All right, this woman right here, she warned her. Don't mess with this man. He's dangerous. But she didn't listen. She didn't listen. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to listen to people when they tell you something. And the thing about it is not that she just didn't listen. Kay Baker actually went to the court on his behalf when he was in court for Michelle. Oh gosh, I forgot the name. I'll put it inside the description. Michelle something. Michelle. I'm sorry, but she had testified, and she was there for her trial. Her trial about what this monster did to her. And Kay Baker actually was there on this monster's behalf. So you had to hear this stuff. What was happening. But so many women, they just, they get caught up with these men, these monsters. You should never brought them in your home. And I'm not faulting her as a victim because she did not deserve to die. I'm just saying my channel is about dating, love, relationship, toxic relationships, advice channel. And I look at all angles of a story so we can find out ways that we can prevent it from happening to us. And this shouldn't have happened to her. You should never let this man move into your house around your children. Your children. He shouldn't have been in your home. He don't have a home. He have nowhere to stay at. Why is he coming to stay with you and your kids? He don't have nothing to provide for you. That's a red flag there too. This shouldn't have happened. This really shouldn't. All right. This is so sad. This all prevented. But the good part about it is he will never be able to walk the streets again. He's done. He's gone. He will never be able to hurt another woman again. No more. He's done. Look at him sitting there all by himself. All by yourself. All by your lonesome. That's what you're going to be like in your cell in prison. And good luck. Because they're going to get you. They're going to get you. All right. So I'm going to end this one here. And everybody, if you want to need a coaching or you need advice on dating, coaching with dating and relationships and stuff, feel free to contact me. Or if you have a viewer's request, let me know. Because my channel is all about with dating, love, relationships, and toxic relation advice channel, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like to discuss all these. And like I said, I use crime stories and I use trials. And the reason why I use these is because I use them as as tools, educational tools to give you examples of what it's like out here in the dating scene. You have to be careful. Not saying all bad, because you got some good people out here. There's some good ones, but then you do have some bad ones. But as you need to look out for the red flags. And as if your parents out there, you need to teach your kids about this, because the schools are not going to teach them about dating. That's not their job. That's your parents' jobs. So mommy and daddy need to teach their children about dating, to watch out for the red flags. And also, you as a parent need to set an example too. And also, don't bother with ex-cons. Don't bring ex-cons into your home. Don't even entertain them. All right? And especially moving them in your home around your children. Because when you do, this is stuff like this is what's going to happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Tell me what you think. What did you think about this whole trial? Whatever, just feel free. And like I said, you can email me. Check out the description. Check out my about page. And also check out some of my past commentary. And also check out my animation, because I do a lot of romance, suspense, thriller animations. And it's pretty good because it's like a teaching tool that I use. And I do an animation. So check them out too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, date smart, not thirsty. No more of this clown. No more. He's all gone. He's all gone. All right, bye. Hit the like, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and share if you find value in this commentary. Share the video out, and also subscribe. Bye.